Hello everyone, this is Marco and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how to improve your Hammond Collection Velociraptors. My friend Jonathan sent me this Velociraptor for me to review and modify and whatever, so thank you so much for sending this over, it really means a lot. So why am I fixing this Raptor? What needs fixing? So this toy is meant to be a collector's toy, as advertised by Mattel. It is a premium figure, but it still has really cartoony sort of proportions, which works for the main line, but some collectors really expect a more realistic approach. So, in order to do that, we need to make some smaller feet for the Raptors and a more accurate head sculpt to what we see in the film. Also, these hips need fixing, but I think I'll do that in a part 2. In a part 2 video, I'd probably fix the hips and change the arms as well because it's got webbed fingers and one of the fingers is really short for some reason. It's really strange. But anyway, these figures are pretty good. They're definitely not the best they could be. I know Mattel can do better. Some mainline toys actually have better proportions than this, so they can do it. I believe in them and I think they can do it. So let's show them that it is possible to make more accurate figures with the same price. It doesn't cost them any more to make a more accurate sculpt. Heck, it might even be cheaper because smaller feet means less material, which means less expense. So here it is compared to my Robosaurs. I'm aware that my Robosaurs aren't perfect, but this is just an example of how a more realistic approach towards proportions really makes a difference and would benefit this line immensely. Also, I'd like to say that Rod's Random Work, Siratech and I have proved that the Velociraptors can stand with smaller feet, and these bigger feet aren't for standing reasons, they're literally just an aesthetic style choice that Mattel's going for. So this right here is a Jurassic Park Velociraptor render, and this is the Hammond Collection Raptor, and you can instantly tell that the feet are way too big, and this is a photoshopped corrected version which I made, which is closer to what we see in the film, therefore more accurate. Bigger feet make this figure look more goofy. I originally thought that these big feet were added so the figure would stand, but it really doesn't need them. So looking at the figure closely, we can see that the feet are on a joint. The same goes for the head. As you can see, there is a ball joint in the neck, and it allows the head to move up and down and side to side and twist. So here comes the tricky part, how to remove them. So what I'm using here is a heat gun. If you apply heat to the feet, that rhymes, it softens the plastic and it makes it go rubbery, and it makes it a heck of a lot easier to pull off. You don't want to pull the foot off when the plastic is hard because you'll just ruin the figure. Make sure that the foot is really warm and really soft so it doesn't damage the joints. So we'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the other foot, applying a lot of heat. Also, these aren't really feet. I shouldn't really call them feet, they're toes. The foot is what goes up to the ankle, so realistically they're toes. But everyone calls them feet, so we might as well just call them feet here too. Just a little side note. Anyway, let's remove that head. So we're going to apply heat in the middle of that joint. We want to soften the neck part of the plastic until it goes rubbery, and then it should just pop off. If it's still too hard to pop off when you're pulling, you might as well just heat it a bit more, and that should help. So now it's ready to have its head and feet replaced. So these are the sculpts I did on Nomad Sculpt on my iPad. I'm pretty happy with them. I tried to keep the detail as consistent to the film and to the quality of the rest of the figure, and here we go. It was quite hard to get the sockets the right size, but I think I did it in the end. So it's divided in 4 sections, or 5 I should say, including both feet. So I sliced them on Cheeto Box and I printed them out. I used my Elegoo Mars 2 resin 3D printer to print these and pigmented the plastic. You can also just paint over it anyway instead of pigmenting the plastic. So this is how you assemble them. This is the neck piece. You insert the jaw piece in the neck piece and then you glue the top of the head right there. Before you glue anything, I suggest you paint the inside of the mouth first and then glue it together. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult to reach inside and paint the mouth once everything is assembled. So let's go right ahead and do that. I'm painting the inside of the mouth with a pink. I mix my own colors, so I can't tell you exactly what colors are used. I just got a white, primary red, and mixed it in with a tiny bit of yellow just to make the color a bit warmer, and then added a bit of blue to darken everything up a tiny bit. And then I painted the palate inside the mouth, the skin membranes or the muscles or whatever they are on the bottom jaw, and the tongue. And I let that sit to dry. I tried being really precise adding this paint. I want to replicate the same look and feel that the paint has on the original figure. So I'm not going to paint it super realistically. I'm just going to keep that toy look on it. I mixed some off-white with white and yellow, and I painted the teeth. Another side note here, I would like to say that I don't hate Mattel. I really don't. I love what they're doing. I have a really big Mattel figures collection at home. I just feel like this is kind of their first time delving into some premium collector stuff, and they're kind of winging it. Some things are really good, like the Ceratosaurus and the Baryonyx look great, but there's just tiny little things that need changing and need adjusting for them to do an excellent job. What they're doing is, again, is pretty good and commendable. It's probably the best stuff that we've ever had for Jurassic, for the collector community. And I really appreciate that Mattel is trying to release stuff like this. But I think feedback from the community is the best thing for this line. Some things I've learned with my experience in the industry is that you can't get better if there isn't any constructive criticism. So if you have any suggestions or anything, please put them in the comments section down below, but please no toxicity, no hate. Anyway, back to the video. So what I'm doing right now is I'm applying a coat of gloss varnish onto the inside of the mouth and the teeth. This makes the whole inside of the mouth look a lot more realistic, and it makes it look like it's wet. I'd probably leave this to dry completely overnight, and now let's go and replace the feet. I designed these replacement feet to fit my Hammond Collection figure, but if you're struggling to pop these on, then you can just shave off a tiny bit of the inside of the socket with a blade, and then it should just click or pop into place. And there we go. So the next day I came back and glued the rest of the pieces together. Remember, do not glue the bottom jaw anywhere. I'm just positioning it here so I can fit it into the neck part properly. And then all you have to do is just glue the top part of the head to the back of the neck. Like so. And this is what it should look like. So the inside of the mouth is painted, the outside isn't, so let's go ahead and paint the rest. Kind of. I'm just painting the bottom part because I don't want to spoil the paint with the pressure when I go and fit the head on. So after I color matched the counter shading and it was dry, I popped the head into place. Like so. So now it's in, I can properly paint the rest of it, including the feet. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I color matched the color of the striping and the shading on the top. I mixed a dark brown and I applied it on the back of the head, of the neck, and around the eye socket. Then I mixed an ivory green for the eyes. After I let that dry, I painted on the pupils. With a dark grey, almost verging to black, I painted the toenails. I went a step further by using that same brown for the back of the head to paint in the missing stripes on the tail. Then I got my trusty gloss varnish and painted it over the eyes. I also painted the varnish over the claws. Then I used some matte sealer to protect the rest of the paint. I made sure not to use the matte sealer before I applied the gloss varnish because it goes a bit funny. So this is what it looks like with new feet and a brand new head. It looks much more accurate to what we see in the film. It still needs work. I'll probably make a part 2 for this, where I fix the hips and the hands, and overall little changes to the sculpt. So I have linked in the description down below the files. You can actually get them from my shop, so you can print them yourself or have a friend print them for you so you can fix your Raptor too. If you don't have a friend that has a 3D printer, or you don't print or whatever, don't fret, because Rod's Random Work and Siratech are teaming up together to make their own, and they're gonna sell printed ones. So if you want those, you can follow them on their social media, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you do modify yours, I would love to see it. Please tag me in your pictures on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll do my best to look at them. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I would like to give a massive thank you to all of my Patreons. Seriously guys, your support really does mean the world to me, as it helps me do what I love for you. You help me buy materials, and most of all, you give me a helping hand with improving the quality of the content of my videos. Even if it's just a small donation, every little helps.